Hi kids! Unfortunately, because of the situation, we can't have you out here on a wetland walk, but we decided to do a virtual wetland walk for you. So come along, let's go and let's see what cool things we can find. Here we have a lovely white-breasted water hen with its chick. You can see how different the color is, much darker than the adults, and that's because it helps the chicks disappear into the background. Off they go. And here are more chicks following the parents wherever they go. Now, wasn't that lovely? If you notice, there were two white-breasted water hens with 3 chicks, and this is because with the white-breasted water hen, the mother and the father both play a role in raising the chicks. Now, if everyone can see this, this is a little jumping spider. It's known as Silus semiglaucus. And you can see how it's doing that little dance. They're very colorful, and they live in areas like this that have a lot of leaf litter, and this is because they feed on black ants. You can see their color, and this is a male, and he's doing that dance to attract a female. There he is. Very tiny but very colorful. Now I hope everyone can see the little dragonflies flying around here. There's quite a few of them here, but what's important to know is that the adult dragonflies love to eat mosquitoes, and a single adult can eat anywhere from 30 to 100 mosquitoes in a single day. So if you don't want those mosquitoes around, make sure you have some dragonflies in your garden. Now here is a lovely tree with beautiful leaves that are also covered in spines. Can anyone tell me what this tree is? I'm sure a lot of you have seen a similar member of this family at home used in your cooking, which is rampe or pandan. Now this tree has a fruit as well, and it's just ripening up. Once it's ripe, it'll completely change yellowy orange, and when it's ripe, you can eat it. Now this guy here in the middle of your screen is what's known as a crab spider, and you can see where they get their name from because of their crab-like appearance. They live amongst the flowers because they're masters of camouflage and have been known to even change their color to suit their surroundings. So that's a pretty cool find. I'm going to let him be now. I hope everyone can see these lovely leaves. This is what's known as lassia or kohila in Sinhala, and very good to eat, especially the young shoots and stalks. So the next time your parents go to market, ask them to get you some kohila and cook it up. It's very healthy for you. Now the reason this plant is special is if you look at the underside. Now the scientific name is Lassia spinosa, and that is because of all these spines down the back of the stalk and the leaf. Now that is very cool. Here's another lovely find. It is a little jumping spider, and then off he goes. I'll try and get him back, but no. He's decided to run away, and now I can't see him. And that's because he's beautifully camouflaged here in the sand. And there he is, right there. So hopefully I'll put my hand and see if the little guy jumps on it. Nope. He decided to run the other way, so I will let him go. Now how cool was that little jumping spider? Now what I want you to do is when you're walking around your garden next or even your house, look out for them, because you'll see them scurrying across the walls. And why jumping spiders are different from other spiders is that they don't spin webs. They actually walk around and jump to catch their prey. So here are a few other jumping spiders that I found in my garden. So let's take a look at some pictures. And here we have another species of jumping spider. Now this is a Portia species. You can see they just curl themselves up, so they don't look like much. They actually look like a piece of dirt on the leaf, but if you go closer and move, you'll see that there he is moving. Oops! And he ran off to the other side. There he is, little guy. Now the jumping spiders are part of the largest family of spiders. They're part of a family known as Salticides, and if anyone looks around their house, I'm sure you'll find them. Here is a kumbuk tree, and you can see it's got some holes in its leaf. That's because a caterpillar is attacking it, and it looks like there's nothing much going on, but if you look closely, you see that there's a lot more going on. Here we have one of these caterpillars, and they are being eaten by weaver ants, or dimias as we call them. So you can see that. Got about 6 or 7 ants attacking this one caterpillar. So what they'll do is once they kill it, they'll take it back to their nest to feed on it. Probably wondering why there are so many spiders, and one reason is I love them, and the second is there's a lot of them. So at the top of this leaf you can see this green spider. It's caught a little fly in its mouth, and then just below here in this white case are all its babies. All the little spiders are hiding in there, and Mama's watching over them. Again, very cool things that you can find if you just look under leaves. I just found something cool. This is an eggshell of a bird, and you're probably wondering why it's blue. And there's an interesting reason behind this. So this egg here belongs to the yellow-billed babbler, or also the Demolicha as it's known in Sinhala. And the reason it's blue is because when it's this color, it only absorbs a certain amount of light and heat and regulates the temperature of the egg, so it doesn't get too warm or too cold. So that's a very interesting evolutionary strategy by these birds. So next time you see a blue egg around this size, it's very likely of the yellow-billed babbler. Now I hope all of you can see this. This is what the beginning of a weaver ant nest looks like. Now in Sinhala they are called dimias, and they're called weaver ants as well because they use a silk-like material to weave their nest together. But before this happens, how they bring the leaves together is by using their bodies. And you can see that just here, the ants are actually grasping onto the leaves with their legs and their mouths, and they bring the leaves together while the worker ants weave the nest together with silk. Now that is very, very cool. This here on the leaf is excrement, feces, and it's from a bat, and a fruit bat at that, because I'm standing underneath a mango tree. So you can see some remnants of fruit, some fig seeds, and you can also see a little bit of green there, and that's what's left over of a scarab beetle. So these bats feed on insects and also fruits. Alright, now I'm sure most of you have seen bamboo before. And next time you see bamboo plants, just observe, and you'll notice that all the bamboo shoots, the young bamboo, like this one here, you can tell it's young because of its light green color, and these are mature, and you can see the color has faded. So the young bamboo will grow these tiny little hairs, and these act as protection, because if I was to get too close, these hairs would get onto my skin, and this would cause irritation and it'll start itching. So this is how this bamboo protects itself from being eaten by other animals. Alright, I hope everyone can see this little beetle here in the middle of your screen, and that is actually a lady beetle. And now you're probably used to seeing lady beetles, or ladybugs as they're also known as, in their traditional black and red colors. But here in Sri Lanka they are slightly different. We'll have these yellow beetles with this lovely intricate black design. And the next time you're in your garden, just look out, because you might find some of these. We have another very, very cool find here. We have some weaver ants, they're also known as dimias, and they've caught a little black ant. And you can see that the black ant is helpless. It can do nothing because all these weaver ants have caught it from all sides, and they will quietly pull him apart and take it back to their colony. Now I don't know if you can see this, but this little thing here looks just like a dimia, but it's actually a spider. And where is he going? There he is. That's actually a little jumping spider that mimics itself as a red ant to stop being eaten. How cool is that? Here is another spider along with its egg case. So there's lots of babies in the little white case there, and that's mama protected them. Can you see how she stood over it, protecting the eggs? Because I just turned over the leaf. So I'm not going to disturb her too much. I'm just going to put her back down. Here is a lovely scarab beetle. Just look at all the bright colors on this beetle's back. And look what we found here. This is a quill. And can anyone guess which animal this is from? If you guessed porcupine, you're correct. Now what quills are just modified hairs, and they're made out of keratin just as our fingernails and our hair are. So the next time you see a porcupine, just look out for its quills and you'll know exactly what they are. Now this is a very cool find. It is a giant water monitor lizard, or a cabra. He's camouflaged well into the surrounding, but there he is. I will try and get a little closer. There he is, just lying there in the water, not moving too much because there are some dogs here and I don't think the cabra wants to be seen. Alright kids, I'm sure most of you have seen millipedes before, and I have a little baby millipede here. He's crawling all over my hand, making himself quite at home. Now, the main difference between millipedes and centipedes are that centipedes have venom and can give you a nasty bite, whereas these little guys here, these millipedes, don't have any venom. And another way of telling them apart is by counting the number of legs per body segment. Millipedes have 2 pairs of legs per body segment, whereas the centipede has 1 pair of legs per body segment. Now this little guy is completely out of focus. I will get him back. There he is. It's crawling all over my hand. I'm going to let it go so it can continue foraging and looking for food. Off you go. Here is a lovely little caterpillar. There's quite a few of them, and they're dropping down from the trees because what's above me is a tree that doesn't have very many leaves because the caterpillars have eaten all of them. So they're looking for greener pastures now. Here are the branches of the tree just above. I'm not sure you can see it, but the caterpillars have removed all the leaves from it, and now they're moving on to the next tree. How beautiful are these wetlands that you find in Colombo, and they play a very important role in the ecosystem. They help clean the air, clean the water, and they also act as a natural drainage system for all the rainwater. And it also protects the city from flooding. So the next time you visit one of these wetlands, just appreciate all that it does for us. And that's all for today, kids. I hope you enjoyed our journey through the wetlands. We will now have some questions based on what we've seen, so I hope you all were listening. Enjoyed that. Now what we'll do is I'm going to ask you some questions, and if you know the answer, just type it in the chat box and I will tell you if you're right or wrong. All right, start with the first question. Is everyone ready? All right, what do dragonflies eat? Come on, send in your answers. Everyone's getting the correct answer. That's awesome. So glad you guys were listening. Now, someone also said tadpoles. Now, that is also true because dragonflies, they have 2 stages of their life. So once the eggs are laid, the parents actually lay the eggs underwater. And then once the larvae hatch, they live underwater before emerging out of the water as an adult dragonfly. So when they live in the water, they do feed on small fish and tadpoles as well. Awesome. Everyone is sending in the correct answers. Brilliant. So now let's move on to the next question. All right. Hope everyone is ready. What are porcupine quills made of? What are porcupine quills made of? You guys are awesome. Everyone's getting the right answer. And that's correct. It's made of keratin,
which is what makes up of our fingernails and our hair as well. And on the porcupine, the quills are basically modified hair, which has got a lot thicker, a lot bigger, and is very spiky. Everyone's getting the correct answer. This is awesome. All right. Moving on. Here's another question. And we saw a lot of spiders on the walk today. And the question is based on the spiders. Do jumping spiders spin webs? You guys are awesome. You're getting that right. No is the correct answer. And they're different to other spiders because other spiders, if you see them in your garden, they spin lovely webs and they sit in the middle of the web waiting for an insect to come and get stuck, and then they'll jump on it and eat it. But jumping spiders are different. They walk around and they'll jump onto their prey to catch them. But just because they don't spin webs doesn't mean that they can't produce silk. They actually can. And the next time you see a jumping spider, just observe it. Before it jumps, it has what's called an anchor line of silk. So it actually anchors itself to one point before jumping with a little line of silk. So that's if it misses its target, it'll not fall off. So they still have silk. They still have the ability to produce silk, but they just don't spin webs. All right, we'll move on to the next question. How do young bamboo plants protect itself? How do young bamboo plants protect itself? And everyone's getting the right answer again. Very, very good. Yes, that's right. They grow, the young bamboo grow these tiny little hair. And what happens is if you get too close to the bamboo, the hair can get onto your skin and cause irritation. So it's like if a little dalambua gets, or a caterpillar gets on your hand, you know how it starts itching? You have the same reaction if you go too close to the young bamboo. So stay away from them. Don't get too close. Otherwise, you will start itching and it can cause irritation. Everyone's getting the right answer. Superb. All right, let's move on to the next question. Are millipedes venomous? Are millipedes venomous? That's awesome. Everyone's got the right answer again. I'm so glad all of you were listening. So that's right, millipedes are not venomous, but their cousins, which are the centipedes, they are venomous and they can give you a nasty bite, a very, very nasty bite. But yeah, millipedes are not venomous. They're very harmless and you can carry them around on your hand like I did. But some of them do sometimes secrete a funny smelling liquid when you handle them, and that is what they use to protect themselves from other predators. I've got a few questions coming in as well. I'll answer them as soon as I'm finished with this. All right, next question. Do both the male and female white-breasted water hens look after their young? Awesome, we're getting all the right answers again. And the answer is yes, both the male and the female white-breasted water hens look after their young. So they'll both take turns incubating the eggs, and they'll both help each other to look after their young and raise them up. And you can see this behavior in the red-wattled lapwing as well. I'm sure most of you have seen these birds around. They're all over the place. But yes, both of the parents help to bring the little ones up. Yes, they're very, very good parents. All right, moving on. It's another question on spiders. Can crab spiders change their color? Yes, that is correct, kids. They can change their color. They are masters of camouflage, and they will change their color according to the flowers that they live amongst. So now the one in the video was white, and that's because it lives mainly on the Aralia flowers. So it's white and it blends in perfectly with the flower. But if the spider was found on a plant with different colored flowers, it'll be very likely that it'll change color to match that flower. And what the spider does is it'll lie in wait in the middle of the flower. And when an insect comes to pollinate it, the spider will jump on, grab onto it, and then have its lunch. All right, let's move on to the next question. We've got 3 more questions before you can ask me questions. All right, I showed you an eggshell in this video. Which bird does that blue eggshell belong to? Everyone's getting the right answer again. I'm so happy you were listening. Yes, it is the yellow-billed babbler. And this bird is found all over the place. And if you go out to your garden now, I'm sure you'll see quite a few of them jumping around and flying around. They spend a lot of time on the ground as well when they forage for insects and worms. So that's correct, the yellow-billed babbler. The egg is blue because the color helps it um, reflect light and maintain the temperature of the egg. Super. Got 2 questions more. Here we go. What color was the lady beetle that we saw in the video? That is correct. It was yellow with the black markings. Now, most of you have seen ladybugs that you see elsewhere. They're red with the black dots, but the ones here are slightly different. They're yellow with black stripes, but they are from the same family. Now, everyone must be used to calling them ladybugs, but they're actually beetles. They're actually lady beetles. Bugs are a completely different family of insects. So next time you're in your garden and you see little beetles which look like a tiny dome, it's very likely they're in the same family as the lady beetles. And they're very, very small. You can find them under the leaves because they usually spend a lot of time under leaves, so that way they avoid being seen by other predators. Whereas if they're on top of the leaf, they can be seen by other birds and be eaten. Alrighty, we have our last question now before we move on to the next part. And now the last question is, why are wetlands important? Why are wetlands important? Yes, everyone's getting the correct answer. And the wetlands are important for a number of reasons. Number one, it helps clean the air. Number two, it helps clean the water. Number three, it's very good for the environment. and it also protects the city from flooding. And especially in Colombo, it helps because Colombo has a lot of wetland land around. It was very marshy area previously. So these wetlands play a very, very important role in protecting the city from floods when it rains very, very heavily. All right, so now we'll move on to the next part of the event where you get to ask me questions. So what we will do is we will ask you to raise your hand, and then we'll try and unmute you to get you to ask the question, and then I will answer them for you. All right. Got people raising hands. Let me see. All right. Hold on. Trying to unmute you. Hold on, kids. I'm just having a technical glitch. Sorry about that. All right, I can't hear you. So we'll start this way. Type your questions into the chat box, then I can answer more of them. All right, I've got a question here from Senon. He asks, how jumping spiders hunt for food? So how they hunt for food is very different to how other spiders hunt for food. So the jumping spiders will walk around, and when they see something that they like, they will try and get as close as possible before jumping. So if this is a little fly, the jumping spider will walk up to it as quietly as possible without being seen, and then it jumps and grabs its prey. All right, moving on. Do crab spiders spin webs? Not really. So they're also very similar to jumping spiders in that they don't spin webs. So they hide and wait in ambush, and then they jump and grab onto whatever insect comes to pollinate the flower. Here we go. All right, I'm reading the questions. I will get to you soon. Where can you find millipedes and centipedes? So you can find them if you look in your garden, but most of the time they live under leaf litter because they like an environment that is a bit damp for them to live in. So you can find them in leaf litter in your gardens. Moving on to the next question. Hold on. Yes, are crab spiders venomous? Crab spiders are venomous. Most spiders do have venom, but they can't really cause us harm if they bite us. Most of their venom is used to catch their prey and feed on their prey. But the little spiders won't cause much harm to us. It's the bigger spiders like the tarantulas that will give you a nasty bite if they do bite us. But the little small spiders have venom. And what they do is once they catch their prey, they'll inject their venom into the prey. And what the venom does is it's mixed. It has a mixture of enzymes in it as well. So it digests the little insect from the inside, and then the spider sucks all the juices out. We go. Do water monitors attack or monitor? So we have two types of monitor lizards here in Sri Lanka. We have the land monitor, which is the Thalagoya, and then we also have the water monitor, which is the Cabragoya. Now the Cabragoya is the one that gets very, very big, and it's easily identifiable with its black color, with its little yellow markings. And when they are threatened, what these lizards will do is they'll puff themselves out and make themselves look bigger than they are. And they do use their tail as a weapon. So they will swing their tail around really, really fast if there's something trying to hurt it. So they use their tails to fight off anything that comes. All right, next question. Next question. Let's see. There's still. What do tarantulas eat? All right, so tarantulas will eat a variety of things, basically anything they can catch. Little rats, little other insects, so whatever they can catch, they will eat. If it's usually smaller than the tarantula, they will catch it and they will eat. Got another question here saying, do yellow-billed babblers make nests? Yes, they do make nests in the trees, and that's where they will lay their eggs. Do we have rat snakes here? Yes, we do have rat snakes here. And they are known as garandias in Sinhala. We do. Can you repeat which bird lays the blue eggs? It's the yellow-billed babbler. Okay, someone wants to know the difference between a water monitor and a land monitor. So the land monitors are much smaller than the water monitors, and they also have a grayish brown sort of color. Whereas the water monitor, the Kabragoya, sorry, is much larger and is black with little yellow markings. So that's how you tell the difference. All right. Did I find the egg on the tree or the ground? I actually found it on the ground. So I think either the egg had fallen out of the nest or the baby had hatched and then the egg had fallen out. But I did find it on the ground. Do Komodo dragons live in water or land? So we don't have Komodo dragons here, but you do find them in Indonesia on the Komodo island, and they live on both the land and they can swim as well. And they are the largest lizards that you find on Canada today. Do rat snakes eat rats? Yes, they do, which is also where they get their name from. We don't have rattlesnakes in Sri Lanka. You mostly find them in North America, and yes, they are very venomous. Got a question here asking what water snakes eat. Water snakes eat a variety of things, little frogs, fish, and anything they can really catch in the water. I have seen a water snake catch a fish that was a lot bigger than it, but it managed to eat the whole thing. So going back to my point on the egg that I found, you must remember not to disturb birds' nests. That is very important. Now I found this egg on the ground and it was already cracked. But you must remember, if you do see a bird's nest, observe it from afar. Don't get too close, because sometimes if you get too close and disturb the nest, parents can abandon it, and then the little chicks or the eggs will not make it. So remember that. Which frogs are poisonous? Okay. So in Sri Lanka, we don't have any frogs that are poisonous per se, but there is the toad. And the toad, which you will find in your gardens, is a very big frog. And if it's threatened, it secretes a liquid onto its skin, and that can cause irritation. So it happened once. My dog caught one of these toads in his mouth, and after a while, he started frothing, and that's because this liquid caused irritation. All right, let's go to the next question. Do millipedes spit venom on you? No, millipedes don't spit venom. Millipedes don't have venom. It is the centipede that has venom, and the centipede can give you a nasty sting. Just having a slight issue with my connection, so let's wait for the questions. Does anyone have any other questions? Hold on, there are some questions coming through. Can you show more common animals? Yes, so the next time we do this, I will make sure to show more common animals for sure. Okay, we got a question here that says, what makes the yellow-billed babbler eggs blue? All right, so like I said before, the babbler eggs are blue because it helps in temperature control, and it's also caused by the pigment biliverdin. Biliverdin. So that's the pigment that makes the eggs come out blue. Do Komodo dragons and water monitors have the same amount of strength, or is one more powerful than the other? They're both very, very powerful, but the Komodo dragon is the most powerful, and they're much bigger and they are much stronger. Are there cane toads living in Sri Lanka? No, thankfully we don't have cane toads living in Sri Lanka. They're a big problem in a lot of countries, especially like Australia, where you find cane toads and they're very invasive and they're not good for the environment. But we don't have cane toads here in Sri Lanka. Have I seen a fishing cat? Yes, I have. I have seen a fishing cat. We have fishing cats here. As you know, Colombo has a lot of fishing cats in its wetland ecosystem. I've seen a fishing cat as well. All right, let's see. A few more questions. We have the questions coming in. Kids, when you raise your hand, it's difficult for me to unmute you. So just type your question in the chat box, and I'll answer it from there. Are garandias poisonous? Are garandias poisonous? No, garandias are not venomous. They are not. They are non-venomous snakes, but they can give you a nasty bite because they've got a lot of teeth in their mouth, but they're not venomous. Now, there's also a difference between an animal being poisonous and an animal being venomous. Now, if an animal is venomous, that means that if it bites you, it can inject venom and cause you harm. But if an animal is poisonous, it means if we eat that animal, then that animal's toxins get into our system. So that is the difference. Here we have another question. Are there crocodiles in national parks? Yes, we do have crocodiles in national parks. Almost all of our national parks will have crocodiles in them. You even find crocodiles here in Colombo in our wetland area, especially in the wetland parks. You will find crocodiles, and these are saltwater crocodiles that come in through the coastal system, through our canal system, and live in these wetlands. Can a monitor lizard kill you? As far as I know, no, but I would not want to take a chance and get close to them. All right. Are there anacondas in Sri Lanka? No, we don't have anacondas in Sri Lanka, but you do find them in South America, in the Amazon. All right. What do snakes eat? Okay, I've got a couple of questions here. What do snakes eat? Snakes eat a variety of things. If they can catch it, they will eat it. Sometimes snakes eat other snakes as well. So they will eat a variety of things. Okay, we have another question here. Why? Wait, I missed the question. Hold on. What do spiders make their egg casing out of? So once they lay their eggs, they'll usually wrap it in a thick silk. So they wrap it in a thick silk casing, and that's what they use to protect their eggs. And once the babies hatch, they'll come out of this egg casing and go their separate ways. Hold on.
Uncle Avi, to help you out, one of the kids had asked you about what the largest snakes are. If you can just maybe give some details. Hang in there, kids, for a minute or two. I think Uncle Avi is having some network issues. I hope all of you are having a really lovely time. So what we are going to do is, when everything is back to normal, we are going to organize one of these wetland walks where all of you can participate, okay? So you can come join hands with us, and we will get Uncle Avi to take you through a wetland, so that you can, go for a proper walk with us. Also, I want to tell you all, this Wild Kids program is specially for you all, right? And today we have over 500 kids participating in this. So thank you very much. And we want to thank your parents, your loved ones for letting you join us to this program as well. And while Uncle Avi tries to connect back with us, I was wondering, so whether all of you all have ever been to like a wetlands in Colombo, or whether you all have been to maybe one of the national parks in Sri Lanka. One of the most famous parks is Yala National Park. And then we have Wilpattu National Park, right? And this program today, Uncle Avi took you all, do you all know where Uncle Avi took you all? Can you all remember? This is the Baddegana wetlands, right? So one day, if you want to go with your parents, with your friends, I think all of you all should get together with your friends, with your cousins, with your parents, your loved ones, and maybe go for a walk, right? And these wetland parks in Colombo are open to anyone. So when everything is safe and we are away from this COVID pandemic, it would be really nice if all of you can maybe go for a walk, okay? And please tell your parents, you all can all be wild kids in our society, and you can have a membership. And when you have this membership, it's not just these free talks on Zoom that you all can be a part of, okay? We are going to give you all, for members of WNPS, which is the Wildlife and Nature Protection Society. And we have Wild Kids, right? This program is called Wild Kids. All junior members or all Wild Kids members will get the opportunity to maybe get some free t-shirts, some cool things, right? So I hope all of you will tell your parents to join in and become members. We will share the link as well of the membership form on this chat so that you have more details. If not, we will share it on, in the media, we'll share it on Facebook. We have a page for Facebook. So please tell your parents, because you all are too young to be on Facebook, please tell your parents to go into the Wildlife and Nature Protection Society Facebook page and make your members, okay? And they also can become members. They can be adult members, you all can be junior members, and we've planned so many things. And so next month also, we are going to have a really interesting talk, right? So now today was about the wetlands. next month is about the seas of Sri Lanka, the beaches of Sri Lanka, and the deep sea ocean. And Uncle Darshana, who will be talking to us next month, to all of y'all, will be talking about deep sea diving. Do you know what deep sea diving is? You can go scuba diving and you can see all these beautiful fish. You can see these amazing corals. You can see some old shipwrecks and all these pictures. And you can ask so many questions from Uncle Darshana when we have our talk next month, okay?
I'm back.
Oh, yay, Uncle is back.
All right.
All right.
I've got a couple of questions that I was going to answer before I got stuck. So here we go. Number one, I got asked, why do female mosquitoes only drink blood? Now, only the female mosquito drinks blood because it needs the protein in the blood to produce its eggs. The male mosquito is harmless and feeds on plant juices. Okay, we've got another question. Are there pythons in the USA? Yes, you do have pythons, but some of them are invasive as well. That means they've been brought from outside, but now are causing harm to the environment. Someone asked me also, which animal has the strongest bite? So the most powerful bite ever recorded is from a saltwater crocodile. So a saltwater crocodile has the strongest bite ever recorded. All right, we have time for a few more questions. We've got a question here saying, yes, whether we have scorpions in Sri Lanka? Yes, we do have scorpions in Sri Lanka. Then we've also got a question here saying, what is the largest snake? So the largest snake that is found in the world is the green anaconda. It is the heaviest snake that you can find in the world today, and they are found in South America, in the Amazon. Okay, we have some questions coming. Okay, we have a question. Is it safe to hike in the Amazon? I've never been, but if you have a good guide with you, I'm sure they will tell you how to walk through the forest. But the Amazon has a lot of animals. You have jaguars, you have anacondas, so you have to be very, very careful. Are there red-eyed tree frogs in Sri Lanka? No, we don't have red-eyed tree frogs in Sri Lanka, but we do have tree frogs in Sri Lanka. We call them gasgembas in Sinhala. We got a question. Are Titan boas real? No, they are not real. They used to be. It is an endangered species. It doesn't live on the planet anymore, but it was the largest snake to ever have lived, and they could grow up to about 50 feet long. And they were also found in tropical rain forests. But another question here, where is the black mamba found? The black mamba can be found in Africa. Okay, a few more questions. Hippos have a very powerful bite as well, but it's not the strongest. So hippos bite can exert a pressure of about 2,000 pounds per square inch, whereas a saltwater crocodile can exert a bite of about 4,000 pounds per square inch. Are jaguars only in Mexico? No, you can find them from Central America all the way down into South America. Do rat snakes eat chicks? Yes, they do. And if they get to the nest and the chicks are vulnerable, they will definitely eat the chicks. I got another question. Do butterflies only drink nectar? Yes, they do. They use their long tongue or mouth part that is rolled up, and they'll drink the nectar from the flowers. All right, here we go. Couple more questions. Couple of repeat questions. Let me see. Is it illegal to keep a cobra as a pet? Yes, it is. Can you find black mambas in Sri Lanka? No, you can't find black mambas in Sri Lanka, but you can find them in Africa. So someone asked me how big water monitors get. So adult water monitors can get up to 1.5 meters long, and they can weigh between 50 to 60 kilograms, which is very, very big for a lizard. But then you have the Komodo dragons, which can weigh up to 160 kilograms, which are a lot bigger. Everyone's asking me, so I got a question. If you can keep a tiger as a pet? No, you can't keep a tiger as a pet. They belong in the wild. All right, we have got another question. It's asking, what do crabs eat? All right, so crabs eat a variety of things. They use their claws. They also scavenge quite a lot. So if they find dead fish or any other dead animals around the beach, they'll scavenge that. But then they're also known to break off snails and mussels and mollusks, and they will feed on them as well. Okay, so we have a question here. What is the most venomous snake in Sri Lanka? Now, Sri Lanka has quite a few poisonous snakes, but the most venomous will be the Sri Lankan crate. And then we have the Indian crate as well. We also have the Russell's viper, saw scale viper, and the cobra. These snakes are very, very venomous. So you must be careful when you're around them. Don't get too close. Okay, here we go. What does a water monitor feed on? Water monitors feed on, again, a variety of things. They also scavenge. So if they find something dead and rotten, they'll feed on that. They will raid nests of birds, like the white-breasted water hen, for example, because they lay their eggs on the ground and not in nests on the trees. So they will raid these nests and scavenge as well and eat a variety of things. They're not fussy at all. All right. Got time for a few more questions. Someone's asked me, what is the most venomous snake in the world? The most venomous snake in the world is known as the inland taipan. The inland taipan. And they are found in Australia. Yes, they're found in Australia, and they're very, very, very dangerous.
Uncle Avi, one question that we also have is, why is it important to protect and save nature? If you can maybe talk a little bit about that, please.
Of course, that's a very important question. Why is it important to protect and save nature? Because everything is a cycle. We rely on nature and the natural world. Like I spoke about the wetlands today. If the wetlands weren't there, that'll be a big disadvantage to the environment. So it helps clean the air, it helps clean the water, it protects the city from flooding. So that's just one example. But every aspect of nature is important. If you look at the trees, we need the trees because the trees help produce oxygen, and oxygen is what we survive on. We breathe oxygen to live. So if there are no trees, there's less oxygen being produced, and therefore we will suffer. So everything works in a cycle. So it's very important to conserve and protect.
Thank you, Uncle Avi.
No
Do we have
problem.
more questions?
We have time for about 2 or 3 more questions before.
All right.
All right, there's a question coming. It's just loading up here. Hold on. Same question going over. Let me see. I'm just looking for the question here. Do you find chilids in Sri Lanka? So the chilid is a type of fish, a family of fish. And yes, you can find them here. The fish known as a tilapia, and that is a species of chilid, which you can find in our lakes and rivers. Okay. Got another question here. What is the fastest snake in the world? That is the black mamba. All right, we've got a question here. What is the national animal of Sri Lanka? All right, so this is a two-part question. The national bird of Sri Lanka is the jungle fowl, and the national animal is the giant squirrel. All right, so we have time for one more question. Let's see. Can we find leopards in the USA? No, you can't. The USA does not have leopards. We have leopards here. You find leopards in India. You find leopards all over Africa, and you also find leopards into northeastern Russia as well. Yes, so the video that I showed, we will upload it so that you can all watch it. So we'll put it on probably on the Facebook page so that you all can watch it. All right. So I hope you all enjoyed this virtual wetland walk in question time. And I hope to see you all soon.
Thank you, Uncle Avi.
Thank you. It was my pleasure.
So kids, we are so excited once again to have you. I think all of us, before we end this session, there was a question about how do we become members? And we put the link on the chat, but it gets lost, right? So I want you to quickly take a piece of paper and write this website. It is www. I will repeat it again. It is www. WNPS SL.org. So I'm going to repeat it, okay? It is www.wnpsl.org. www.wnpsl.org. All right. So kids, our program about wild kids, okay, is about getting all of you interested about our country and our wildlife and nature, because Sri Lanka is important to us because we live here. This is our Sri Lanka and we are Sri Lankans, right? So I hope all of you, and I know all of you enjoy this. I want to take this opportunity to thank Uncle Avi once again. Thank you so much, Avi, for devoting your valuable time and being here with us and being here with all the kids. And I know that the kids can't talk right now because you all are on mute. So to say thank you to Uncle Avi, I want all of you to wave your hands and say thank you, Uncle Avi.
Thanks for joining, kids.
All right. We hope to see you soon. Please tune in to the website address I gave, right? And we will keep you posted on all our programs there. And we'll see you next month. Bye, kids. See you soon.